A single parasite can erase a mouse's fear of cats, luring it straight toward danger, exactly how Toxoplasma gondii ensures its own survival. But humans cross its path every day, often without knowing. If this cat parasite can manipulate a rodent's instinct, what risks does it hold for us, and how much do we really know about what it can change? Toxoplasma gondii is a single-celled parasite, invisible to the naked eye, but equipped with a remarkable set of tools for survival. Under the microscope, its most active form, called the tachyzoite, has a slender, crescent or banana shape. This tiny organism belongs to a group known as apicomplexans, a class of parasites distinguished by their specialized tip, or apical complex, which lets them invade the cells of their hosts with precision. Unlike viruses or bacteria, Toxoplasma is a eukaryote, sharing some features with the cells that make up all plants and animals, yet it lives to infiltrate and exploit other creatures. What sets Toxoplasma apart is its astonishing host range. It can infect virtually any warm-blooded animal, birds, livestock, wild mammals, pets, and people. But its life cycle has a singular focus. Only members of the cat family, domestic cats, lions, tigers, and their relatives can serve as its definitive host, where the parasite completes its sexual reproduction. This is why cats are at the center of Toxoplasma's story, but every warm-blooded animal is a potential way station. In the words of Dr. Jitender P. Dubey, who has spent decades studying this parasite, Toxoplasma is one of the most successful parasites on Earth. Its ability to adapt, persist, and move between such a wide range of hosts is unmatched in the microbial world. The parasite's journey is not limited by borders or species. It can pass silently from soil to animal, from animal to person, and most importantly for its own survival, always seeks a route back to the feline gut, where its cycle begins again. Every day, millions of people come into contact with Toxoplasma gondii without ever realizing it. The parasite's journey begins in the gut of a cat, its only true home. Here, Toxoplasma completes its sexual cycle and produces microscopic eggs called oocysts. A single infected cat can shed more than 100,000 oocysts in just 1 gram of feces. These oocysts are tough. Once released into the environment through a litter box or an outdoor deposit, they can survive in soil, sandboxes, gardens, or water for months, sometimes even longer. But they aren't immediately dangerous. Freshly shed oocysts need 1 to 5 days in warm, moist conditions to become infectious. From this point, Toxoplasma can take multiple routes into new hosts. The most familiar path is the household litter box. If cleaning is delayed, oocysts can sporulate and become infectious, ready to hitch a ride on hands, dust, or paws. Soil is another silent reservoir. Gardening, playing outdoors, or eating unwashed produce can all lead to accidental ingestion. Undercooked meat, especially pork, lamb, or wild game, poses its own risk. Animals can harbor tissue cysts in their muscles, which survive unless the meat is thoroughly cooked or frozen. In some regions, contaminated water has sparked outbreaks, reminding us that even a glass of untreated water can carry the parasite. As Dr. Catherine L. S. Dubey notes, the 4 main exposure routes are litter boxes, soil, undercooked meat, and unwashed produce. Oocysts are extremely resilient in the environment. These facts bring the story of Toxoplasma out of the lab and into kitchens, playgrounds, and dinner tables around the world. The parasite's path is shaped by everyday habits, making exposure a part of ordinary life for people and animals alike. In carefully controlled laboratory settings, the effect of Toxoplasma gondii infection on rodent behaviors not just anecdotal, it's measurable. Researchers use odor arenas divided into zones scented with cat urine and neutral controls to track how much time each animal spends in areas that would normally trigger fear. Uninfected rats and mice avoid these predator-scented zones, hugging the walls and steering clear of danger. But once infected, their behavior changes in a quantifiable way. Infected rats have been shown to spend up to 3 times longer in the cat odor zones compared to their healthy counterparts. In some studies, the attraction index, which measures preference for cat scent, shifts from strong aversion to clear attraction. In mice, the reduction in avoidance is less dramatic, but still significant. Time in the predator-scented area can increase by 20 to 50%. These results are consistent across dozens of experiments, with the most pronounced effects seen in male rats. The behavioral shift is highly specific. Rodents lose their fear of cat odor, but not of other predators. Brain analysis reveals Toxoplasma cysts clustered in regions like the amygdala, a hub for processing fear. The numbers tell a clear story. This parasite alters instinctive responses, making its host more likely to be eaten by a cat, and so completing its own life cycle. Inside the brain, Toxoplasma gondii doesn't simply hide, it changes the landscape. The parasite forms cysts that can persist for life, settling in regions that control instinct and emotion. Infected rodents show a surge in dopamine, the same chemical that shapes motivation and reward. Studies have measured dopamine levels rising by as much as 350% in the brains of infected animals, a spike linked to the parasite's own enzyme known as TGTH, which ramps up dopamine production from the host's own supplies. This flood of neurotransmitter disrupts the normal wiring of fear, especially in areas like the amygdala, making the animal less wary of predators. The immune system doesn't stand by quietly. Microglia and astrocytes, the brain's defenders, respond with a steady release of cytokines, proteins like IL-6 and CXCL10 that try to contain the infection. But this chronic inflammation doesn't just target the parasite, it can also change the way neurons communicate. Interferon gamma, a key immune signal, helps keep the parasite dormant but can also alter brain chemistry, shifting the balance of neurotransmitters. These combined effects, dopamine surges and immune-driven rewiring, offer a plausible explanation for the behavior changes seen in infected rodents. While the story in humans is more complicated, the basic mechanisms hint at a powerful link between parasite, brain, and behavior. Dr. Lewis M. Weiss says, Toxoplasma's ability to persist in the brain and interact with neurotransmitter systems is one of the most fascinating aspects of its biology. The interplay between parasite, immune response, and neural circuits is an active area of research with much still to uncover. Roughly 2 billion people worldwide carry Toxoplasma gondii, making it one of the most common parasites on Earth. For most, infection passes unnoticed. No fever, no rash, no sign that a microscopic visitor has settled in for life. But for some, the consequences can be devastating. When a pregnant person becomes infected for the first time, the parasite can cross the placenta and reach the developing fetus. This is congenital toxoplasmosis. The effects range from mild to severe: brain damage, vision loss, seizures, or even stillbirth. Each year, thousands of babies are born with these preventable injuries. Dr. A. M. N. Miller, A clinician who has treated congenital cases once noted, quote, "The most heartbreaking cases are those we could have avoided with simple precautions." Another group faces a different threat. People with weakened immune systems, such as those living with HIV, cancer patients on chemotherapy, or transplant recipients, can suffer reactivation of dormant cysts in the brain. This leads to toxoplasmic encephalitis, a dangerous inflammation that can cause confusion, seizures, and coma. Even in countries with advanced healthcare, these cases remain a persistent challenge. The sheer scale of infection, combined with these severe outcomes for vulnerable groups, brings the story of Toxoplasma out of the lab and into ordinary lives. Some of the most debated questions about Toxoplasma gondii center on what it might do to human behavior. Studies led by Dr. Jaroslav Flieger, a Czech evolutionary biologist who has lived with the parasite himself, have found that people testing positive for Toxoplasma antibodies show subtle but measurable changes. On average, infected individuals react to visual cues 30 to 50 milliseconds slower than those without the parasite. That difference is small, but in situations demanding quick decisions, like driving, it could matter. Large surveys have also linked infection with a roughly 1.7 times higher odds of being involved in traffic accidents or taking other risks, though these findings are still the subject of scientific debate. Dr. Flieger emphasizes that these effects are not mind control. They are statistical trends seen in groups, not destiny for individuals. Most scientists agree. The strongest evidence for behavioral change comes from rodents, while human studies reveal associations, not proof of causation. Critics point out that other factors like socioeconomic status or health habits could explain the links. What is clear is how to reduce risk. Cooking meat to at least 71 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Fahrenheit reliably kills tissue cysts. Freezing meat at -18 degrees Celsius or 0 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 days is also effective. Washing fruits and vegetables, wearing gloves while gardening, and cleaning litter boxes daily, ideally with gloves and thorough hand washing, are simple habits that cut exposure. Pregnant people and those with weakened immune systems should avoid handling cat litter entirely. These precautions, recommended by CDC and USDA experts, can make Toxoplasma a scientific curiosity, not a personal threat. Right now, Toxoplasma silently resides in up to 1 in 3 people worldwide. Its subtle influence remains uncertain, but its reach is undeniable. As science uncovers more, one truth persists. Even the smallest organisms can rewrite the boundaries between body and mind. What boundaries are truly ours? Share your thoughts below.